When Yifat first came to me and our paths first crossed, I have to admit I was just shocked. Her level of capability was so high. Her understanding, the comprehension, and then even more the application. When Yifat came to one of my retreats, she had the astounding pleasure, and so did I, of she was making food for me as part of the chefing program that she went through. And again, I was just so impressed that I invited her to write a Simply Delicious book. She eventually did write one of our Simply Delicious books for all the Jewish holidays, raw food, 80-10-10, for all the Jewish holidays. It's outstanding. It's just an outstanding book, and I can't wait till part 2 comes out. This is a person who just accepts responsibilities and, like cream, just always rises to the top. So, Yifat, it's all your stage.
Wow, Dr. Doug, I'm just so thankful for having this good relationship with you and getting to know you. And I'm so proud of the path that my life took. And it was a lot of it had to do because you brought 80-10-10 to my knowledge.
Were you born and raised in Israel?
Yes, I was. I'm 40 years old. I was born and raised here in the middle of Israel. I'm a mom of 2 kids now, 4.5 years old and 1.5 years old, a boy and a girl. And I've been on the raw food path for the last 9 years now. This is my 10th year. I'm a raw food and natural health consultant. This is what I do. And I run the 80-10-10 Israeli Facebook community, which has 35,000 members.
That's incredible.
I saw Gary Yourofsky's known YouTube lecture, and I went vegan without even understanding that I went vegan. And not long after that, my asthma healed. I was exposed to Victoria Butenko's books about green smoothies, and I was convinced to try them in my lifestyle. And I found more energy and vibrancy and losing some weight. And I really enjoyed it. So I continued to investigate. And then I heard of 80-10-10. And once I heard of it, I was hooked. 95% of what I eat would be raw foods. But occasionally on family gatherings and dinners, I would eat something cooked. It would always be a whole food. It would always be a vegetable. And I believe that in 10 years from now, I won't be eating anything else rather than something that's uncooked. But right now, there's something that socially feels comfortable. I grew up on olive oil.
So instead of the land of milk and honey, it's the land of extra virgin olive oil.
Definitely, yeah.
Oh boy, but you know how to make food without oil.
Not only do I know, I would never eat oil right now. I think it's one of the biggest this century's scams. Breakfast would be a watermelon this season at summer. They're great, and I just love them. And lunch would be always a starter of fruit. And then what I chose to bring you is some kind of a dish with a whole lot of leafy greens. And we're going to make it today. It's a green leaf sushi. I always start with a starter of fruit. I'll talk about it a bit later. And then for a snack at around 4 or something, if I'm hungry, I would probably have some fruit, some peaches, like let's say 3 or 4 peaches. Followed by it would be dinner. Dinner, I usually like to have fruit, no fat, because I feel more energized when I don't have fats in dinner. I rather have them at the middle of the day. I start eating late at around 11, let's say so, because I love exercising in the morning. I don't want to feel deprived that I have to earn my meal before I eat it. So as a lifestyle, I want to earn my meal because I wake up and I'm energized and I'm looking for something to play with. I want to exercise. But if I'm hungry, I would just go and eat and I'll exercise later, or I won't exercise some days. I usually do because I like it and it's important to me and it's a lifestyle. So that's my approach to it. My starter of fruit would either be like these 3-4 bananas, or it could just be a plate of oranges and grapes or whatever's in season. So once I ate my fruit, I'm kind of waiting to eat something more savory, and that would be the sushi. So my sushi would always be made out of the salad. I have here some spinach, it's already cut, and some lettuce, different kinds of lettuce, and I have some zucchini that's shredded, So those are the cucumbers, and they're going into the salad. I have a really simple dressing that I go to whenever I want to do something kind of quick. And it consists of three ingredients. It's almond butter, and it's a juice of an orange, and a juice of a lemon and a lime. And I just mix them all in a bowl. It's not a lot, but it's thick, and it has a lot of fat in it, so it coats the salad well. So that's the salad. So I'm taking kind of a scoop of the salad, and I'm placing it on the sushi, on the nori roll. And I roll, and then I tighten once I got it over all the sushi, I tighten. This roll is ready. This is how it looks like. It's pretty moist inside. It's pretty nice. I always add some herbs. I love the taste of herbs on sushi. That's lunch for me. After the starter of some fruit, that would be lunch. What do you think? Would you have such a lunch with so many leafy greens and vegetables?
Absolutely. That actually looks really delicious. That's the thing. One thing I really admire about you guys is you're not just eating fruit, you're eating so many leafy greens.
Well, nature kind of intended us to have both sweet tooth, craving for sweet foods, and the craving for salty or savory foods. And vegetables, they answer that craving for salty foods. So if I have a craving for salty foods, I know I probably didn't have enough vegetables. Even though they don't seem too salty, once I have a few good vegetables or a giant salad, I'm pretty satiated with that craving. So I think nature intended us to have a lot of leafy greens. It's not for nothing. Yeah, of course I eat avocados, yeah. Avocados are fatty fruits, but I don't treat them quite the same as nuts. Nature put them on trees, so we could pick them, and they're more abundant and more easily digested. The nuts, they're more hydrated. And so I do eat avocados, and I usually prefer them over nuts or seeds, definitely. I have full days without eating fat, and I feel great about it at summer. It feels more comfortable. So generally, I would have less fat in my diet at summer, more fat in my diet at winter, but not a whole lot of more fat. Like it wouldn't be 10%, it would be 15, and maximum days would be 20, and day after that, I wouldn't want to eat fat probably. I'm not as cold as I used to be. I used to suffer from being cold a lot, and now I'm not as cold as I used to be. And it feels easier and more intuitive to eat raw foods, even when it's cold. I do try to eat as much as I can organic, and I try to follow the guidelines of the EWG for the clean 15 and dirty dozen, showing the foods that are less and more contaminated when they're not organic. So what's more contaminated, I definitely make a point of getting organic.
You eat about 4 times a day, is that correct?
Usually, one of the meals is a kind of a snack. I'm breastfeeding now, and I went through 2 raw food pregnancies and 2 breastfeeding periods. So when I'm breastfeeding, the first year that I'm breastfeeding, I usually want more food. I'm usually hungrier, and I get to eat 4 times a day. But now she's almost 2 years old. I'm in the 2nd year of breastfeeding, and I don't breastfeed as much, only 2-3 times a day. I go for 3 meals a day. Each meal would be big. And I think that after that, I will probably get back to what I was used to, which is 2 big meals a day and another one that's smaller, that's a snack. Once I got pregnant, it was even clearer to me that I feel best on raw foods. Knock on wood, I had such great 2 pregnancies. I was energetic. I didn't have any side effects that are common in pregnancies. And I was feeling on top of my game.
People think raw food is so extreme. I mean, there are things that regular people that aren't even vegan eat raw. Like, for example, salsa. That's raw. Everybody loves salsa. Guacamole. That's raw. Everybody loves salsa. Fruit. I mean, so like we have to demystify that raw food is like food.
And I make ice creams. It's so easy to make a raw ice cream just out of bananas and blueberries and something. And actually, our dinner that we're going to make right now is something that my kids really like. And I usually make a whole big blender full of it. And I just pour it into 2 plates. And everybody's eating from it. Some bananas, some are frozen, some are fresh, and we're going to use both. I'm gonna put a whole lot of bananas. I planned on 6, but those are small. I'll go for 8, 7, 8. So what I'm adding to these bananas are some greens. And we use the lettuce and some leaves at lunch. So now what I'm going to use is some celery sticks and some parsley. So that's basically what's going on in this green smoothie. I'm going to add just a little bit of water. Add 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. I think there's a really big problem today with omega-3s that are lacking in our nutrition. And I tested for omega-3s. I wasn't happy enough with the result. And that's why I'm incorporating them until I get my omegas to the level that I want them. And then I'll probably say bye to chia seeds, and I'll stick to mangoes or other fruits that have omega-3s. People think that vegans are deficient in omega-3s, and raw food is even more, but that's not true. I think what we do more than other people is test. It's more of a mousse consistency.
Nice.
So what I brought today for topping them is a few grapes and a few raisins. But you can top them with anything. I sometimes top my banana smoothies with another bananas, and that's it. I'm saying thanks like almost every week. I have a moment that I say, thank God that I was able to wake up 3 times a night to breastfeed, and I still have energy to work out in the morning, and I have a good mood. And that's due to this lifestyle. So this is what it looks like. It came out a little bit yellowish color. It's usually more green, but I put up a whole lot of bananas. And that would be dinner. That's a really big bowl. That's a pasta bowl. It's not some kind of a small one.
I love that we get to eat so much food. It's incredible to me how much you get to eat and not be overweight or have a disease. It's like, I just thank you, Barbara Rolls. I mean, calorie density is amazing, isn't it?
You can get a whole lot of volume, and you can feel satiated not only from widening our stomachs, but also from the nutrients that are in the foods.